Hey Rockies, I wanted to use yesterday's scrimmage as a learning opportunity for one of the plays that we did defensively. So this still image captures the situation. We have a runner at second base. Now let's have a look and see what the next batter does. So the batter is able to hit a single with a runner on second to the center fielder. The way that we did this is we had our center fielder field the ball, we had our shortstop go into shallow outfield, the center fielder throws to the shortstop turns and then relays the ball for the play at the plate. And in this case, it was an overthrow. So let's see if we can learn a little bit from this scenario and see if we can improve it a bit. So here is the play for a single to center field with a runner on second base. First, whenever there's a single to the outfield, the defense is going to organize itself for a play 2 bases ahead of the lead runner. So in this case, the lead runner is at second base. 2 bases ahead of that is going to be at home. So all 9 players on the field are going to organize for that play. The catcher here, which is labeled number 2, pitcher 1, catcher number 2, is going to be like the conductor of the orchestra. Recognizing which play to do, he's going to yell, "Cut 4!" Or alternatively, he could yell, "Cut home," 4 being like the 4th base, home base. Or you can use cut home. Both are acceptable and widely used. So, the first thing is we need to establish who the cutoff guy is. And that cutoff guy is number 3. And in the number system, number 3 is the first baseman. So the first baseman is going to get on a line between where the ball is fielded, in this case dead center field, and home. So he's just going to go right behind the pitcher's mound just a little bit. And he's going to make himself known so people don't get confused as to who the cutoff guy is. What his responsibility is to give a target to the center fielder. And the center fielder is going to throw, he's going to aim for the head or just over the head of the cutoff guy and make a one-hop throw to the plate. You're never going to try and do it all in one go. It's always going to be a one-hop and always going to be thrown through the head of the cutoff guy. Most of the time, the cut guy is not going to cut the baseball. And when I say cut the baseball, I mean catch it for the reasons I'll tell you in a second. And certainly he's never going to catch the ball, turn around, and relay the throw into home. So the times that he will cut the ball is if he sees that it's a bad throw. It's either too far left or too far right. It's not going to make it to the catcher. He cuts the baseball. Second, and kind of related to that, is if the runner is already around and there's really no play, it's too late, he'll cut the baseball. The cut man's primary responsibility is to actually hold the runner at first base from advancing to second base as we try and make a play at the plate. So what he's going to do is he's always going to fake like he's going to catch the ball and look at that runner as he's rounding first. If that runner is making a base running mistake, he can cut the ball and get that runner in a rundown, also known as a pickle, in between first and second base. So his responsibility is mainly to do a fake, which is known as a deke, and take advantage of base running mistakes, or just hold the runner through the deke. Now, because there's nobody covering first base, number 4, which is the second baseman, slides over and covers first in the event of that rundown. Number 6, who's the shortstop, he's going to cover second. And it's kind of important here that he doesn't go on the base directly unless he's needed, because you don't want to mistake the center fielder throwing to the shortstop at second base. You want to kind of get out of the way a little bit and just kind of make yourself small so they don't make a mistake and throw it to you. Third base covers third, and the pitcher is going to run behind the catcher to get any balls that might be pass balls behind the catcher, because the outfielders are going to be throwing their hardest at their max distance to throw that runner out, and there's going to be errant balls. So you can hold the runners if you have them there. So that's how we organize for this type of play. It's the exact same play if they hit a single to the right field as well. The only real difference is that the first baseman is going to get on a line between where the ball is fielded and home plate. You can see that red line drawn here. So instead of going behind the pitcher's mound, he's going to line up just like so. So let's take a look at this play at the major league level.
Running proper cutoffs.
So
It is not.
in this case, the batter is able to hit a single to the center fielder. Notice in the lower right, we can see the situation, runner on second. So this center fielder is being directly challenged by that runner. It's a battle between you, the outfielder, and that runner, and you intend to win it. And you unload on a throw. And even look, his glasses come off. You see him, the glasses fly off, which is really kind of cool. You are throwing as hard as you can throw to that cut guy. Now let's freeze frame right about here. Look at the upper right. That fielder is the first baseman. It's not the pitcher. If you're just kind of casually watching, it just looks like the pitcher is there because that's normally where the pitcher goes. So he's faking like he's catching the ball, and he's already running towards first base, pretending like he has the ball. He's deking him. Now let's look at the lower left. That's the pitcher running behind the catcher, kind of slowly, to be honest with you, but he's getting there. Now let's look at the ball. The ball, which was thrown through the head of the cut guy, makes a one hop just a little bit in front of the pitcher's mound. Catcher fields it, much easier to field on a one hop, and he applies the tag. So let's look at that again. This angle is really good to see the responsibility of the first baseman. Look at the lower left. Here as he comes into view, he was making himself big, kind of putting his hands up. The ball, as it comes in, he's pretending like it's going in his glove. Like he puts his hand in his glove, he eyes that runner and holds the runner to first base. If you don't do the deke, he can identify that the ball's going home and make his way to second, which is in scoring position again. Ball bounces, comes in on a one hop, and makes the play. So let's take a look at this at the Little League level. This is from the Little League World Series. So when the season concludes, there's an all-star team. And at the majors level, the all-star team, that tournament, the culmination is eventually the Little League World Series if you keep winning. Here we have Tennessee versus Indiana. And those people won their Little League tournament all the way through the state level, and at which point their name changed from Glendora America or East Fullerton Little League. You would then become Southern California or Tennessee or Arizona. You get to represent your state. California's 2 states. That's why I said in Little League it's considered 2 states. So anyways, let's take a look at this. It's televised on ESPN. You can play in front of millions of people. Pretty cool.
And that is into right. Here comes Allred. Up with it being waved. Home. Second off. Safe. And advancing to second.
So let's take a look at this armed with the knowledge that we now have and see if we can adjust the pieces on the field to ensure maximum success. So first, the second baseman makes a stab at the play. Great job. Didn't come up with it, and that's okay. So right when the ball gets through, we all need to know the situation, catcher above all. The catcher is going to scream at as loud as he possibly can. Cut four, and that reminds everybody what their duties are. In this case, the second baseman, who we have a good view of, he should immediately realize, okay, now I'm not going to be the cutoff going out there because it's a single. I need to run and cover first base. So here we can see the right fielder fielding the ball, and the right fielder did more or less the right thing. Look here, he one hops it to the catcher, just wasn't in time, but he did the right thing. But look at the other pieces on the field. You can see that there is no cut guy. So look at the upper right in yellow. Do you see how that runner is able to advance? It's not possible to hold the runner because he knows that that ball is going to go towards home. Whereas if we had a cutoff guy, he always needs to worry about that cutoff cutting the baseball and catching him going to second. Look at the pitcher now. The pitcher is just kind of standing there on the mound, not doing anything useful for this play. He needs to run behind and back up an errant throw, which is very, very common at all levels of play. So, hope you guys learned from this video and can apply now a single towards right field or center field with a runner on second.